Hello and welcome to this brief demonstration of the new program and practice management application that we have developed for the ACR. This application will be used to replace some of the older utilities such as ATPU, the Dixit Tixit registration dashboard, AIRP registration, and some other functionalities. This application will allow you to enter resident student information, edit resident student information, update faculty information, also register and purchase products such as Dixit, Tixit, RadExam, and also now some student programs such as Radiology Teaches, STARS. It'll also allow you to manage your addresses for shipping and billing, view reporting on some of the items you have, as well as submit requests for possibly satellite programs that you may have. The first thing I would like for you to do is look at the program that's displayed when you log on. You will land here on this summary information page, and right underneath will be the ACR Medical School program as an example. You want to make sure you're on the correct program so that you put your residents and students where they're supposed to be. If you are not on the correct program and you want to change that, go down to Settings on the bottom left, and you should get a drop down here and pick the program. I'm going to just remain on the medical school program. Click Next, and then Finish. If you've changed it, it will now display here up on top. So the first step is to make sure your residents or students are underneath the program. To do so, we will go to Manage Individuals. So as you can see here, we are now under Manage Individuals. And currently we do not have any active students, and I am the only staff. You can go ahead and click this button to add program staff, to add your directors, other program coordinators, other administrators, other faculty that you want to have access to this program. And then the next step is to add your students. So I'm going to take you through first the added individual student. In order to prevent duplicate accounts, you want to search to see if that resident or student is already in our system. So the best way to prevent a duplicate account is to see if that person already has an account in the ACR system. And you can do that by searching. So you want to search by first name, last name, and or email. You can do any combination. I'm going to go ahead and search by first name, last name. And email could be a little tricky because they might be using a personal email account. So I personally like to search first by first name, last name and see what comes up. And we can see that we have 2 Robin Wyatts in the system. Now, if I know this is which one of these is the person I want to add to my program, you can go ahead here and just click Add Individual. It will then bring up a form. What you would need to do is complete the required information. I do not know her birth date, or if you do not know, or if you're unable to provide that information, we request that you put in December 31st, 2999. And I know this is for some of the students, you may not be able to provide us with birth date, so we ask that you put in this date, 12/31/2999, as the default, so we can keep track of them. Then you would go ahead and select the role. So we are going to say that this person is a student, and they are an M1. And then we're going to add a start date and an end date. I'm going to go ahead and change that. For residents, there might be some additional fields that you may need to fill in. Once you have all the required information, you just click Update Constituent. And you have now added that person, as you can see now, to the medical school program. So let's go back one more time to add individual. Say I've searched for an individual and they do not come up on the search. Oh, we have actually some John Does, which I wasn't expecting, but that's okay. So say none of these are the John Doe that you are going to add to your program. So you click down here, I could not find the constituent and need to create a record for them. And basically it's the same form that we previously did, where you're going to add your first name, an email, pick a gender, the birth date once again. I'm going to do 12/31/2999 since I don't know what it is. And we are going to make them also a student, an academic level. Now I wanted to point out here for the academic level, you can see we have medical students, PAs, MP students, and this is primarily for our radiology teachers program. Please be careful right now that you're selecting the right one based off of the program. PA programs, MP programs are considered separate programs. For example, you may have medical students, PAs, and MPs at your university or academic center, but they will be considered separate programs in our system. So we are going to do some updates for this, but just to make sure that you do pick the correct one. Start date, end date, and then scroll to the bottom and create the constituent. So now we have our two individuals. Now this is for adding individual accounts. Say I have 10 medical students that I want to add to my program. We have 10 coming in this year. We want to add them. We have this option called Bulk Add Individuals. And what this is going to allow you to do is to upload a file and create those accounts. So we're going to go ahead to Bulk Add Individuals. And there's some instructions on here, but there's a few things I wanted to point out. So first of all, we have a specific spreadsheet or template that we use. This makes sure the information is in the correct column so it goes into the system correctly. So to download that spreadsheet, you would click right here and that will provide you the download. So I'm going to go ahead and download that. As you can see, it's down here at the bottom. So you download your spreadsheet and then you can open it up, and we are looking at the spreadsheet now. And as you can see here, we've got some examples of what the information looks like. So scroll all the way over to the left to first name. You're going to want to click Enable Editing. And here's where you're going to add your information. So I'm going to delete this because this is just an example. And we don't want to put that in the system. And then fill out the information. So let's see, we're going to go do I'll do this. Now, some of the columns, particularly like gender, they have a drop down. Same thing with birth date. Medical students do not have an MPI, so you do not need to add that information. The same thing with designation, subspecialty. What you do want to add though is role, and that would be student. And academic level also has a drop down. So we're going to do M3. We need your student start dates. And their end dates. And just be careful with your start date and end dates. Make sure you put them in the right column. And that's it for medical students, PAs, MP students. If you're doing residents, of course, you're going to want to put in your, as much information as possible, your MPI. We have designations here, subspecialties here, and your mailing country code and stuff like that if they're going to be different. So once you have all of your students on the list here, this is very important. You want to save it, but you want to save it as a different type of file because the system doesn't allow you to upload from Excel. It only allows you to upload from a CSV file. So here's how you do that. So you click on File, Save As, and you can name it actually whatever you want. I'm just going to name it Demo so I know which one. And then what you're going to do here is change your from Excel workbook to your CSV file. Now you have to be careful. There's you want to make sure that it says .csv. And we don't want this CSV up here. We want this CSV here. So we go ahead and save it. Click OK. And then I'm going to go ahead and close this out. So now that we've got the file ready for upload, you're going to click this button here, choose a file. Yes, there it is. So there's my CSV file. That's the one I want. Open it, click open down here, and it's going to say here it is, demo CSV. So there's my file. So then you just click the upload button. And what that's going to do is upload your student list into the system. So as you can see here, it says I've uploaded my files. Now, if you have an error message down here, it could mean that there was something wrong with your file, but most likely it means that there could be duplicate accounts. So you would want to open that up here and determine what are the duplicates. But as you can see, there's a note up here too. It says your constituent files were successfully uploaded. If there are any errors creating the constituents, you will see a timestamp error log file in the uploaded files section below. So that's how to do the bulk upload. And as you can see, yay, here's our newly uploaded account. So that's how you add new residents and students to the system. Now, say you have a resident or student that's left your program. You can go here, take a look at them, click over here to the action button, and you can either edit their information. So if you need to edit them, maybe they have a change in email address, or you can click transfer that they've transferred or left your program. And that will then take them off the list. So we're going to say their end date is now going to be today. So that is how to manage your residents and students in your program. The next step now is to purchase their registrations for our various programs. So to do so, you come over here to purchase registrations. And for medical students, we have our Radiology Teaches program and our STARS program. So we're going to go ahead and purchase a registration for our Radiology Teaches program. Now you could also do both. So if you have multiple students that are going to be accessing multiple products, you can go ahead and pick one or two or more. So if I pick both, they would be registered for both products. If I select one or the other, then they would just be registered for that one particular product. So you select your product, click Next. So here you're going to determine how many registrations do you need for this particular group of students. So I'm going to say just one. So you can type in here, or you can use the little plus, minus buttons, either way. You could also search for a particular student here in the search box if you know who they are, or you can pick from the list. So as you can see, Robin is still on this list because even though we took her from the Manage Individuals list, she still has till the end of the day. So we're going to disregard Robin for right now, and we're going to pick John Doe for our registration. So we've picked our one person because that's how many we've selected. And you click Next. We also have the option, say you know that you're going to have 15 medical students coming through for Radiology Teaches or Dixit, TICSIT, RadExam, whichever program it is, but you don't know who their names are yet, you can use placeholder accounts. So if I select a placeholder account here, that will say, okay, I really wanted 2 people. I just don't know who that second person is. So I'm going to go ahead and click Next. And this is one thing I wanted to also, with the checkout, bring to your attention. Radiology Teaches, STARS are free programs. You are not going to get charged. So there really is no checkout for the programs. If you do click here, it's going to take you to the next page. I will show you that. If you are registering for Dixit, RadExam, TICSIT, one of the other programs, AIRP, you can look at your invoice here and click here to get your invoice. If you plan on paying by check, or if you want to pay at a later time. If you want to pay immediately, you would click checkout and it will take you through the checkout process. But for $0 products such as Radiology and Teaches, where you're not really paying for anything, if you do click on checkout, and I wanted to show you this because I don't want you to get stuck, it's going to tell you, yay, we understand, that you registered for some products. There is no outstanding balance or anything, but now how do I get back to where I was previously? Click your name up here. Click your name, and then it's going to take you back to the summary information page. And as you can see now, it's letting you know that I have registered my program for 2 constituents, and you can see it says registrations purchased were 2, and here's your order details. So I purchased 2 registrations, and one of them was named because that was our John Doe that we named. So let's go here to Actions, and you can actually view and print here your order as well. So you can see here we have John Doe for Radiology Teaches, and one placeholder account for Radiology Teaches. So this will kind of help you know who you purchased registrations for. So now that we've purchased the registrations, they are now registered for that program. I did want to point out though that for Dixit, RadExam, TICSIT, you need to have a paid order for those programs in order to access them. So even though they're registered and you have an invoice, if it's not paid, then your residents will not be able to access those programs. So we have that one open placeholder. What are we going to do with that? Well, you have the ability here up to a certain date, depending upon the program, to transfer those registrations. So I'm going to go select our Radiology Teaches program. And so we have our John Doe, which was named. So this was the named registration. And say John Doe left and I have another person instead that I want to give that particular registration to. You can go here and then select that person from the list to replace them. And like I said, transfer registrations does have a limit depending upon the specific program. So if you're not sure of what the cutoff date is for your transfer, contact your staff member that you work with regarding that program. So if I wanted to transfer John Doe to our example account that I created, I would click here, or I can pick someone else. So this is only for transferring named registrations. Now for my placeholder account, if I click Next, and I'm not going to change John Doe, I'm going to leave him there, and click Next. Now here's my open registration. Here's where I can say, okay, I now know who's going to use this registration. I'm going to use my example account that I uploaded previously for that person and click Next. And then we're saying, okay, this person's going to use the product, Radiology Teaches. It was a placeholder account, an open slot, and we're going to transfer it to our example account, and we're going to click Finish. So now you can see Radiology Teaches has no open slots or unnamed registrations. It's got the 2 slots that are filled. So we'll click Next. So at this point we have managed our individuals by either editing, adding new individuals. We have purchased our registrations for them and or paid for them. We had transferred registrations for those programs where you can transfer in the registrations. So the other options are managing addresses. And here's where you can edit your primary address, your billing, your mailing address. For the resident programs, we have some reports. You can look at product facts, FAQs, and these would take you to the various pages for those programs. And lastly, you could submit a request where you can change your program name or create a new satellite program or create a program. If you have any questions, concerns, if you go back to the summary information page, So if you have any questions about a particular program, please contact that program directly via the emails you normally use, or for specific questions about your program or registrations, you can contact atpu@acr.org. Thank you for watching this video. We really appreciate it, and we hope you enjoy using the PPM.